Greetings, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome to the 2020 Candidate Showcase for the Office of International Director from Region 4. I am International Director David Templeman.
And I'm International Director Aletta Rochar.
We have the pleasure of co-chairing this showcase. Today you have the opportunity to hear the candidates as they answer questions submitted in advance by Toastmasters leaders.
The candidate brochure is available on the Toastmasters International website. The candidate brochure provides detailed information about each candidate, as well as a section for you to take notes.
During the showcase, we will be joined by International Director Stefano McGee, who will ask the questions to the candidates, and International Director Anthony Longley, who will act as timer. The candidates have been placed in a virtual breakout room until their scheduled times, and will be let into this room at the appropriate time. For those of you that have never been to a candidate showcase, each candidate is asked questions. Opposed international officer and all international director candidates have a maximum of 6 minutes each. A countdown clock will be used for timing. When the countdown reaches 0, the speaker will be muted. All candidates were provided the instructions regarding timing before the start of the showcase. It is the responsibility of the candidate to manage their time. Each candidate may make an opening or closing statement, or they may begin by answering questions. Questions will be rotated between the showcases. However, candidates running for the same position or the same region will be asked the same questions.
I now welcome International Director Stefano McGee to ask questions of the International Director candidates from Region 4.
For the Office of International Director from Region 4, Distinguished Toastmaster Rob Christeson. Would you like to make an opening statement?
First question, please.
What can we do to encourage our leaders to develop 5-year plans? What can we do to encourage our leaders to develop 5-year plans?
For our leaders, if by the question, if you're talking about our district leaders and members in those type of roles, I think that one thing that we can do as an organization is develop tools that pattern our 5-year strategic plan that the board is responsible for, and make sure that our district leaders not only have those tools to use, but also the training to use them. And I know that I've worked with leaders before on developing marketing plans and worked on trying to develop multi-year plans. And that tool is designed to let you do that. I don't think it's quite set up from the 5-year mentality. So I think we would need to modify those tools as an organization and include the training and support for our members to use those tools. Next question.
What district events have been positively impacted by COVID-19? What district events have been positively impacted by COVID-19?
I will tell you that every trio that I've spoken to has told me that their experience with the online Toastmaster Leadership Institute or club officer training, depending on what they choose to call it, has been very positive. Their experiences have been very positive. They've seen a much higher turnout of club officers for training, and they've seen greater engagement among their officers as well. And I encourage those district leaders to continue to communicate those successes to the staff and to the board and to the region advisors so that we know how to take the next steps to continue those events in the future. Next question.
Is the current club coach program working? If not, how would you improve it? Is the current club coach program working? If not, how would you improve it?
I think in many ways, there are positive results that occur because of the club coach program and because of how we've implemented and how we support our coaches. If I were to suggest ways to improvement, I actually liked the recent change to the recognition for club coach. And one change I would recommend is that we make that permanent to allow that district leader credit alongside that to really recognize the amount of work that goes into truly coaching. And much like one of my more recent answers, I would say we need to continue to improve our training for those roles as well and support. I've seen it before where club coaches have felt like they were in a vacuum after they were appointed. Some districts do this far better than others. Getting that consistency from a broad point of view for our organization is very important. So improving that consistency in the training and support for our coaches can help make it even better for the organization. Next question.
Soon we will unveil the 2020 strategic plan. How do we make this relevant to our leaders? Soon we will unveil the 2020 strategic plan. How do we make this relevant to our leaders?
It's a lot like Toastmasters being relevant to the member. And the way I describe that is translation, translating their why into what we provide. And the same thing with the strategic plan, understanding what our district leaders need and how it ties to what the strategic plan describes, and being able to put those together so the district leaders can understand where as an organization we're going and how we as the leaders of the organization are going to help them to achieve those goals so that they can help their members achieve their goals. Next question.
How do you hold members of your team accountable? How do you hold members of your team accountable?
Communication is one of the most important aspects of leadership, and one thing that I learned in my military service was the need to communicate expectations clearly. And no matter what the expectation is, even if it's telling an area director visit a club, that expectation by itself may not always be clear to every person. Helping them understand what it means to contact the officers, understand what it means to schedule the visit, what types of questions they should ask, how they should engage the officers. Every one of those expectations should be lined out, and use that example, those are lined out in the district leader handbook, but with a district director, division director, area director, lining out those expectations in a way that the person understands, acknowledges they understand it, allows you to then come back and be sure they were able to meet their needs. And what I've learned in my years of leadership is that when you outline the expectations sufficiently and the person understands them and agrees to them, they want to succeed and they will meet the expectations. But when you make the expectations vague, it becomes very difficult to hold people to them. That's my feeling towards holding people to expectations. Next question.
What strategies do we need to adopt to increase brand recognition? What strategies do we need to adopt to increase brand recognition?
I'd like to see us take the next steps towards a global marketing plan. And I know there were some trials done a couple of years ago. I think we're in a place where it's time to look at the next steps. I know that COVID made this a tough time. Obviously, putting out a bunch of TV ads right now would not benefit the organization at all. But being able to figure out how to tie that global marketing strategy to our different regional needs around the world is definitely the next step, I think, in making our brand more recognizable. I want to conclude now, if that's okay.
Of course.
Thank you. I want to thank all the district leaders and members that have reached out over these last 3.5 months and made time to speak to me, to let me know your challenges and your successes and answer my questions and ask me tough questions. I hope that I've been able to provide you the information you need in order to best make a decision, and I humbly ask for your vote for the role of International Director, Toastmasters Region 4, Rob Christeson.
For the Office of International Director from Region 4, Distinguished Toastmaster Harold Osmundson. Would you like to make an opening statement?
I would. I'd like to thank you for watching this showcase and participating in this important process. Your participation makes a difference. More than anything, I hope this finds you and your family in great health during these times. Questions, please.
What can we do to encourage our leaders to develop 5-year plans? What can we do to encourage our leaders to develop 5-year plans?
That's a great question. And one thing that I think we could do is actually provide the district success plan in a 5-year format so that our district leaders are thinking about things, not just in the current program year, but longer. How are they contributing this year to the greater vision for their district? And I think that we can sometimes have a little bit too much emphasis on excellence and achievement in the current program year, but forget that we're trying to build something bigger and better for the long term. So spending some time today so that tomorrow is better. And it starts maybe, and probably be a good start, let's look at the district success plan and how we can make modifications to have a greater horizon and perspective for the leaders today. Next question, please.
What district events have been positively impacted by COVID-19? What district events have been positively impacted by COVID-19?
I think the response in every training that I've gone to and that I've attended in the TLIs, there's been very positive response, great attendance. People are enjoying the convenience of attending training online. Attendance is better. I think there is something probably missing that we would love to see more of an in-person component at times in some elements of the training. But I look at it as conferences, TLIs, and trainings are really going well, and we're getting great attendance from it. I think there are going to be instances where we'd like to see some of it in person, but so far positive response and great attendance. Next question, please.
Is the current club coach program working? If not, how would you improve it? Is the current club coach program working? If not, how would you improve it?
I think there are opportunities to improve the club coach program. And the first, we'll start with training and training the coaches. And I think this is something that we can provide at the international level, where we provide a good coaching module for prospective or club coaches who would like to be successful in their role. How can they work with the club's leadership team, and how can they understand their role is to help develop the leaders in the club so that the club can be successful on its own and sustainable for the long term. So this is about training and making sure that the coaches are supported throughout their journey, and they understand what we're trying to do is to build something for the long term by working with the leaders. We may also benefit by looking at the recognition program, the Distinguished Club Recognition Program, and perhaps taking the emphasis maybe a little bit away from membership side and saying, look, what we want to focus on is the educational and the production of educational achievement, member growth, in terms of when we look at a club, in terms of, is it going to be a distinguished club or should it be a distinguished club? And I think this aids in the coach's progress and success as well. This is a great topic. Next question, please.
Soon we will unveil the 2020 strategic plan. How do we make this relevant to our leaders? Soon we will unveil the 2020 strategic plan. How do we make this relevant to our leaders?
When I think about the next strategic plan, I look at some of the same elements that we had in the 2015 strategic plan: member achievement, club excellence, awareness, and brand. And I think these are great elements to have. One thing that I would probably put in there in a new plan is the focus on leadership development, so that we look at our training and then actually a separate or distinct leadership development program, so that our leaders realize there's something in it for them at all levels. I mean, leadership development starts at the club level, it continues through the district level and beyond. So let's put in an emphasis on a leadership development program that's developing leadership skills that are transferable to the workplace, to life, so that we can apply them on Monday morning and not just in our clubs and our districts. I would love to do that. And the benefit of that also, we have a stronger organization and a stable and full bench of leaders for the future. Next question, please.
How do you hold members of your team accountable? How do you hold members of your team accountable?
I think this really comes down to looking at a process of how are we leading members of a team. And it starts with clear expectations and an agreement that this is how the member of the team contributes to the team. Here are the goals. Here are the expectations. Here's how we'll communicate. Ask what are the resources necessary, train. And then if we find that we're having difficulties meeting those expectations, let's have a conversation about that. But it's better at that point because we've had expectations laid out and agreement on what's to be done. And that pre-work really helps with accountability. It's time for me to make my closing statement. Thank you again for watching the showcase. I encourage you to reach out and connect with me if you have additional questions. You're welcome to connect with me at my website, heraldforid.com. I wish to serve as your international director and serve on your board to serve you and be responsible and play a role in your success. I ask for your vote. Please vote Harold Osmundson for International Director, Region 4.
For the Office of International Director from Region 4, Distinguished Toastmaster Linda Rhea. Would you like to make an opening statement?
I'd like to go straight to questions, please.
What can we do to encourage our leaders to develop 5-year plans? What can we do to encourage our leaders to develop 5-year plans?
So many leaders are so concerned about this year and how to get this year's job done. And the districts I've worked with that I see have a 5-year plan have some continuity in what goes on from year to year. It might be a great idea in some of the district leader calls to talk about the benefits of having a plan ready for the beginning of the year where we're all so anxious and working to get ready for the year. So I suggest in our trainings that we let some other members with 5-year plans help members understand the benefits that they have received and how it will help each district grow in their ability to grow more clubs and achieve club excellence. Next question, please.
What district events have been positively impacted by COVID-19? What district events have been positively impacted by COVID-19?
Most definitely the Toastmaster Leadership Institutes. From what I'm hearing from leaders around the world, our attendance is through the roof, and people have really enjoyed the experience, especially those who were never able to attend in the past. It's been a success that I hope is able to continue because we're now reaching leaders that we haven't been able to reach before in our organization. I give it 2 thumbs up. Next question, please.
Is the current club coach program working? If not, how would you improve it? Is the current club coach program working? If not, how would you improve it?
The current club coach program is a great program. The interesting factors that really make the difference in a coach relationship is that the club and the coach have found that they really wanted to work together, and they're all committed, every single member, to making the goal of distinguished club, which takes teamwork and strong communication, which of course is a Toastmaster skill. I think building the relationship and learning how to do that would enhance the program. I am a big fan, however, of the Club Coach program. Next question, please.
Soon we will unveil the 2020 strategic plan. How do we make this relevant to our leaders? Soon we will unveil the 2020 strategic plan. How do we make this relevant to our leaders?
Communication is everything. Really building a positive purpose behind the strategic plan and helping members understand and leaders understand what's in it for them when we achieve the goals of the strategic plan helps it come home and mean something to me rather than that big idea in the sky that the board of directors wants us to achieve. So I really recommend that we spend as much time as we can creating ambassadors of all of our district leaders all the way through to area directors to go out and sell the beautiful aspects of the strategic plan. Next question, please.
How do you hold members of your team accountable? How do you hold members of your team accountable?
Interestingly enough, communication. If there's good communication between the leader and the team and the rest of the members of the team about everybody's joined outcome, it makes us much easier to come to agreement and work toward that outcome. When we see that each other are supporting all of us, it makes it so much stronger for us to really want that outcome to occur. Next question, please.
What strategies do we need to adopt to increase brand recognition? What strategies do we need to adopt to increase brand recognition?
One thing I'd love to see, I love the fact that we have all these branded brochures and all the things that we use at our meeting, but where do we put the brand out in the public? We have a Facebook page for our club. I've tried to encourage people, post on your own Facebook page and get all of your members to share with you and make sure that they are always very classy branded posts that use the wonderful technology that is given to us through the brand portal. In this way, in all of the social media, we are really building the brand of where leaders are made and people see the colors. They know it's all about Toastmasters and the quality that we bring to the world. I'd like to go to closing statements, please.
Of course.
Toastmasters is a gift to all of us. I am grateful for the leadership experience. That is why I want to serve on the board in order to continue to serve the organization that has done so much for me. I promise to share my strong financial, strategic planning, and board experience with all of you as I represent your best interests on the board. I ask you, fellow leaders and members, for your vote for Linda Ray, International Director, Region 4.
Fellow Toastmasters, please take time to review the candidate brochure and reflect on what you heard today. As delegates, you have the responsibility to vote for the most qualified individuals at the annual business meeting. The future success of the organisation is in your hands. The annual business meeting will begin on Friday, August the 28th at 12 p.m. GMT. Serving at the international level is an enriching and rewarding experience where you can learn new skills and grow as a leader. If you are interested in learning more about the qualifications and skills of international directors or regional advisors, please review the Leadership Roles document on the Toastmasters International website.
Thank you for watching, and be sure to watch the other candidate showcases posted to the website.